Hello, fellow gamers! August 2026 is shaping up to be an absolute banger of a month for independent developers. I found 25 incredible indie titles you absolutely need to keep on your radar this month. Coming from Game Freak, Beast of Reincarnation is easily one of the most intriguing action RPGs releasing this month. You step into a striking, beautiful, yet unforgiving world as Emma, who is accompanied by her loyal companion, Ku. What sets this adventure apart is its innovative combat design, seamlessly blending real-time action mechanics with tactical turn-based commands. You will seamlessly orchestrate attack, issue quick tactical commands to Ku, and dodge deadly threats in high-stakes combat encounters. With a deeply atmospheric setting, fluid combat animation, and a compelling narrative centered on the bond between Emma and her hound, this looks to be an absolute must-play for RPG fans looking for a fresh spin on action tactic. Anomaly President, a wildly creative presidential action roguelike from developer Few Games. This title puts a brilliantly bizarre spin on the genre by having you lead a complete double life. By day, you are a politician, hitting the campaign trail, managing your crew, and gathering vital votes from citizens to run for presidency. But once night falls, you transform into a lethal vigilante warrior, fighting to overthrow a tyrannical administration and its syndicate of anomaly-powered bosses. Combat is fast-paced and deeply customizable, letting you adapt your character into a parry-heavy swordmaster, a spell-casting cyber mage, or anything in between. Blending political sim mechanics with intense roguelike action and a customizable mobile campaign bus, this is easily one of August's most inventive indie concepts. Big Walk, the latest creation from developer House, the brilliant minds behind Untitled Goose Game, described by the devs as a cooperative online walker-talker. This game pivots away from goose chaos to deliver a relaxed, charm-filled adventure built around wandering and getting lost with up to 12 friends. Set on an expansive, colorful island, your group explores lush environments, solves clever environmental puzzles, and figures out how to navigate together using tools like walkie-talkies, megaphones, and binoculars. The standout feature is its realistic proximity voice chat, and when you drift out of hearing range, you will have to rely on wild body language and hand gestures to communicate. Korea IL-2 series is a next-generation combat flight simulator from 1C Game Studios that plunges you directly into the intense dogfights of the Korean War. This title marks a massive leap forward for the legendary franchise, transitioning from World War II piston engines into the high-speed dawn of the jet age. You will take the stick of iconic early jets like the F-86 Sabre and Soviet MiG-15, as well as historic prop planes, flying across a massive 200,000 square kilometer map of the Korean peninsula, featuring hyper-detailed interactive cockpits, advanced damage modeling, dynamic air regiment career management, and full VR support alongside accessible gamepad controls. It strikes a brilliant balance between hardcore flight physics and engaging combat action. Akatori is a gorgeous Metroidvania from developer Contrast Games that immediately captures your attention with its fluid, momentum-driven gameplay. You play as Mako, a young monk set out on a grand quest across diverse, time-spanning realms to stop the deadly amber storms from consuming all living things. What truly sets this title apart is its staff-centric design, a versatile tool that functions as your main melee weapon, a long-range projectile, and a vital traversal device for kung fu parkour. Combat and movement flow together seamlessly, letting you bounce off walls, chain aerial combos, and navigate complex vertical biomes alongside your mystical red bird companion. With striking pixel art set against stylized 3D backgrounds and inventive boss encounters, this is shaping up to be an amazing, standout adventure. Lost and Found, a This Bed We Made story, is a standalone narrative mystery from developer Low Birth Games, set right after the events of their previous hit. Moving from 1950s hotel to a luxurious 1960s transatlantic ocean liner, you play as Sophie Roy on her first day working as a ship stewardess. Your routine duties quickly turn upside down as you find yourself snooping through passenger cabins to solve a series of mysterious thefts aboard the vessel. Expect plenty of environmental storytelling, intricate tactile puzzles, and impactful moral choices that shape your journey across the Atlantic. With its rich, retro atmosphere, full voice acting, and compelling detective gameplay, this looks like a must-play for fans of stylish, story-driven mysteries. Marvel Tōkon, Fighting Soul, a massive 4 vs 4 tag team fighter developed by fighting game masters Arc System Works. Bringing iconic comic book heroes and villains together in a striking visual style, this title introduces an innovative take on team-based combat. Instead of starting with a full squad, you enter battle with a single fighter and an assist character, gradually unlocking up to 4 playable team members mid-match through wall breaks and high-impact combos. With dynamic multi-tier arenas, fluid animation, full rollback netcode, and crossplay support, it masterfully balances deep competitive mechanics with accessible controls for fighting game newcomers. Whether you plan to dive into its story mode or take on opponents online, this is shaping up to be a powerhouse release. Iron Nest Heavy Turret Simulator is a brutal diesel-punk artillery simulation from developer Red Dot Games that puts you behind the controls of a gargantuan war machine. Unlike typical fast-paced shooters, this title is all about tactical, mechanical operation. You play as an operator locked inside a heavily armored fortress, listening to incoming grid coordinates via radio, measuring map ranges, and manually adjusting hydraulic levers and heavy gears to lay down devastating fire on enemy forces. Every shell, loaded pressure gauge check, and target calculated carries immense physical weight, forcing you to make quick tactical choices under heavy fire while managing system heat and repairs. With its grim aesthetic, immersive cockpit interactions, and tense atmospheric sound design, this looks like a dream for simulator fans. Expeditions Samurai, the latest tactical party-based RPG from Logic Artists that takes the series to feudal Japan during the chaos of the Sengoku period. Landing on Japanese shores aboard a battered Dutch trade vessel, you take command of a stranded, diverse crew caught right in the middle of a brutal civil war. The core gameplay balances deep turn-based tactical combat with rich historical storytelling, where stealth diplomacy and brute force are all viable paths. You will manage your squad's morale and supplies, build alliances with local clans, and make tough moral decisions that alter the balance of power across the provinces. With authentic historical detail, deep skill trees, and dangerous tactical choices where every action leaves a mark, this looks to be a brilliant entry for RPG fans. Echoes of Mystralia, an action-heavy, spellcrafting action RPG roguelite from developer Borealis Games that brings us back to the magical universe of Mages of Mystralia. This title takes the franchise in an exciting new direction by pairing high-speed, dynamic combat with deep procedural roguelite progression. The core hook lies in its incredibly flexible spell-building system, allowing you to combine runes and elemental properties to create custom spells on the fly, triggering wild chain reactions against hordes of enemies. Every run challenges you to adapt your playstyle to defeat challenging bosses and uncover a rich narrative set across procedurally shifting landscape. With its vibrant art style, smooth combat, and endless build variety, this is looking like a standout title to wishlist. Security 51, a tense psychological thriller and clearance checking simulation from developer Hyperation that channels the paranoia of Papers, Please. Set deep within the classified corridors of Area 51, you take on the role of a lone security officer stationed at the elevator control checkpoint. Your job is to rigorously scan staff credentials, verify security levels, and inspect physical traits to decide who gets access down below and who can never be allowed to leave. As you descend through deeper subterranean facilities, otherworldly anomalies begin to take hold, making it harder to tell if the personnel standing before you are actually human. Blending retro tech UI interactions with escalating horror and multiple narrative endings, this looks like a deep experience for Papers, Please fans. Hell Let Loose Vietnam, the massive standalone expansion to Team 17 and Expression Games' acclaimed hardcore tactical FPS. Shifting the franchise from European battlefields to the oppressive, dense jungles of Southeast Asia, this installment drops you directly into brutal 50 vs 50 multi-stage combat encounters. Success relies heavily on voice communication, squad tactics, and role execution. Whether you are piloting helicopters, patrolling river networks and gunboats, or clearing underground tunnel systems as infantry. Powered by Unreal Engine 5, it features realistic ballistics, lethal combat physics, and sprawling historical map designed for intense combined arms warfare. If you love authentic tactical shooters with unyielding tension, make sure to throw Hell Let Loose Vietnam right onto your Steam wishlist. Duskfade is a charming 3D action platformer from developer Weird Beluga and publisher Fireshine Games that serves as a heartfelt love letter to the golden era of collectionists. You play as Zirian, who embarks on a quest with his trusty mechanical companion Cuckoo to rescue his sister from a sinister clock tower that has plunged the entire world into eternal night. Movement is the absolute star of the show here. You will double jump, wall run, grind rails, and use a versatile grappling hook to seamlessly traverse vibrant clockpunk-inspired biomes. Combat is just as dynamic, letting you blend fast-paced sword slashes with aerial combos and special abilities against twisted clockwork enemies. If you miss classic PS2-era platformers packed with fluid movement and secret-filled worlds, this one should be added to your wishlist. Lootbound, a dark fantasy tactical roguelite from developer Red Snail Games that masterfully combines turn-based grid combat with deep tabletop RPG elements. In this bleak and unforgiving world, you will assemble a party of various adventurers, recruit allies at bustling taverns, and venture into dangerous procedural dungeons. Combat demands precise positional strategy, where smart positioning synergies between hero abilities and environment hazards mean the difference between victory and defeat. The core hook lies in its satisfying loot system. You will manage inventory grids, identify mysterious magic items, and gear up your party with powerful equipment to suit your playstyle. With its grimdark aesthetic, high stakes, and rewarding tactical depth, this is a must-play for fans of dark fantasy strategy games. Nimbit Frontier is a delightfully charming creature-collecting life sim from developer Red Kite Games that blends relaxing base building with engaging roguelite exploration. Set in a vibrant, cozy world, your main task is to rescue, raise, and nurture adorable wild creatures known as Nimbit. You will craft customized habitats, bond with your companions, and manage their unique daily needs. But when you venture into the shifting depths of the underworld, the game shifts gears into light, real-time roguelite combat and resource gathering, where your Nimbits join you to navigate dangerous biomes, discover rare species, and aid in regional conservation efforts. With its warm aesthetic, rewarding creature care loop, and satisfying exploration cycle, this looks to be an absolute treat for life sim fans. The Sinking City 2, a spine-chilling third-person survival horror title from developer Frogwares that fully embraces existential terror. Set in the roaring 1920s, you are thrown into the decaying, flood-ravaged streets of Arkham, Massachusetts as an eldritch deity slowly consumes the city. Shifting away from pure investigation toward traditional survival horror gameplay, you will explore drowned alleys, manage scarce ammunition, and engage in combat against grotesque aquatic abominations. Powered by Unreal Engine 5, the game delivers atmospheric environments, terrifying creature designs, and a deep narrative where you must make harrowing moral choices that balance individual lives against the fate of the entire town. If you love classic horror with heavy Lovecraftian vibes, this is for you. Twisted Tower, a stylish Bioshock-inspired first-person shooter from developer Atmos Games and publisher 3D Realms. Set inside a towering, abandoned 1950s theme park, you play as Tiny, a young man scaling a bizarre, deadly ascent to reach the top and win back the love of his life. The tower is crawling with corrupted fairy tale mascots, lethal traps, and mind-bending environmental puzzles, forcing you to utilize a varied arsenal of retro firearms and quick movement options to survive. What truly makes this stand out is its mix of fast-paced action with dark narrative psychological horror as you uncover repressed secrets about your past through dynamic comic book panels and memory fragments during your climb. If you enjoy atmospheric FPS games with distinct retro charm, this could be it. Deadlock Station, an inventive tactical roguelike from developer Hollywood Games that puts a fascinating twist on squad management. Rather than directly controlling your units in turn-based combat, you rely on an indirect control system where you manipulate the battlefield environment, set up deadly chain reactions, and issue macro commands to lead your squad to victory. You will assemble a team of specialized operators, deck them out with unique gear, and plunge into grid-based levels infested with relentless alien invaders. Tactical planning is key here. You will redirect enemy movement, detonate explosive hazards, and trigger environmental traps to wipe out alien threats efficiently. Uncovering the mystery behind the cataclysmic event and the sudden disappearance of humanity adds a great layer of intrigue. Mortal Shell 2, the highly anticipated standalone sequel from developer Cold Symmetry that takes everything fans loved about the original dark fantasy Souls-like and scales it up drastically. You play as the Harbinger in a vast, interconnected open world where you must dethrone corrupt false gods. The core shell possession mechanics return, allowing you to inhabit the bodies of different fallen warriors to master unique skill trees and playstyles. Combat is punchier and far more fluid, ditching strict stamina management to focus on aggressive parries, high-impact weapon arts, and strategic hardened defenses. With its haunting, dark fantasy world design, brutal execution animations, and deeply rewarding exploration across a decaying realm, this is shaping up to be an absolute treat for hardcore action RPG fans. The Witch's Bakery, a 2D adventure RPG from developer Sunnyverse Studios that mixes life simulation with magical shop management. Set in a charming, stylized version of Paris, you take on the role of Loon, a young witch running her very own enchanted bakery. By day, you explore iconic Parisian streets, forage for fresh ingredients, and craft mouth-watering pastries like magical croissants that heal the hearts and troubles of local townspeople. Beyond baking, the game features narrative RPG elements, where you build deep friendships, solve emotional side quests, and customize your shop to attract new customers. With its beautiful hand-drawn art, relaxing lo-fi soundtrack, and heartwarming gameplay loop, this looks like an absolute delight for cozy gaming fans. Ultrapool, a vibrant roguelike pool shooter from developer Neon Slice Games that reimagines the classic pub sport with chaotic arcade energy. Instead of standard rules, you are tasked with clearing table after table using a wildly diverse deck of trick balls, each packing bizarre special effects, elemental abilities, and multiplier triggers. The core gameplay centers around building game-breaking synergies. You might chain together explosive Q-strike, telekinetic bank shots, or persistent hazard fields to clear tables in a single stroke and rack up astronomical high scores. Between rounds, you will shop for game-changing artifact relic, upgrade your queues, and take on increasingly challenging boss tables with unpredictable layout. With its snappy physics, bright neon aesthetic, and addictive build variety, this looks like a huge hit for pool and roguelite fans. Lose Lagoon, a cozy open-world exploration and crafting adventure from developer Tiny Roar that whisks you away to a picturesque tropical archipelago. Taking to the skies in your customizable seaplane, you play as a pilot embarking on a journey to rebuild island communities devastated by recent storms while searching for your missing Uncle Lou. Gameplay revolves around flying between lush, stylized islands, harvesting resources using a handy multi-tool called the Swirler, and crafting materials to restore local homes and shops. Beyond building, you will fulfill requests for charming islanders, uncover hidden secrets, and piecing together clues behind your uncle's mysterious disappearance. With its soothing, tropical aesthetic, relaxing flight controls, and heartwarming sense of discovery, this is shaping up to be an absolute paradise for adventure fans. Divinum, an expressive action-adventure title from developer Moonlit Studios that pairs fast-paced hack-and-slash combat with rewarding open-world exploration. Set on a breathtaking, isolated island under siege by mysterious, otherworldly invaders, you step into the shoes of a skilled warrior fighting to liberate your homeland. Combat is designed to be fluid and stylish, encouraging you to weave together light and heavy melee attack, aerial juggles, and elementally charged abilities. Deep character customization lets you experiment with various skill trees and equipment build, tailoring your playstyle to shatter enemy defenses with devastating combos. As you explore vibrant environments, you will solve environmental puzzles, uncover ancient ruins, and piece together the tragic secrets behind the island's history. If you love sleek action RPGs with deep combat systems, make sure to add Divinum to your wishlist. Lady Death, Demonicron is a brutal, side-scrolling hack-and-slash beat-em-up from developer Multispace that pays glorious homage to 1990s arcade classics. Based on the iconic comic book heroine, the game packs 15 action-heavy levels where you slice through endless hordes of demonic underworld foes. Combat is fast, fluid, and violent, allowing you to chain together heavy sword strike, devastating magical abilities, and stylish aerial combos. You can jump into the chaotic action solo or team up with a friend in local co-op as you fight through hellish landscape, conquer boss encounters, and unlock powerful combat upgrades. Wrapped in a striking dark comic art style and backed by a killer industrial metal soundtrack, this looks like an absolute blast for retro action fans. Breathedge 2, the highly anticipated sci-fi survival sequel from developer Red Ruin Softwork that ramps up the absurdity, danger, and outer space exploration. Once again, thrust into a hazardous cosmic adventure, your goal is to survive the void, manage a chaotic crew, look after your immortal companion Chicken, and bring down a mega-evil space corporation. The sequel expands the core loop significantly, with shipbuilding systems, deep crew management, and multi-planet exploration. Alongside your trusty retro-futuristic tools, you will scavenge resources in zero gravity, construct operational outposts, and navigate hostile environments packed with environmental hazards and dark satirical humor. With its expanded survival mechanic, comedic story, and striking retro sci-fi visuals, this looks like a huge treat for survival fans. And that wraps up my look at some of the most exciting upcoming indie games in August 2026. Which of these titles caught your eye the most? Let me know down in the comments below. If you enjoyed the video, please consider dropping a like, hitting that subscribe button, and turning on notifications so you never miss awesome indie games. Thank you for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one.